I saw a comment in one of the groups, Dust Life, and a guy was saying that basically, not cleaners, the sanding guys are basically still sanding floors for $2 a square foot. And guys, first of all, you have to realize, man, in all these industries, most of them, especially construction, home services, there's really no standard price. It's like an open market. People can really charge what they want, which is not a good thing, when it comes to business expenses and just simple business practices. But guys, um, somebody, usually people make comments like, why are you worried about it? Why do you even care? And I'm gonna tell you guys why. Even it used to frustrate me, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because when you care about what you do as a professional, which generally means you care about the industry, and you hate to see others devalue the industry, right? But for myself, I can speak for myself. It just came to a point where you just have to realize that um, you can't let it affect your emotions because you only can control what you can control. But guys, I want to say, man, is that the sad part is that a lot of people, like even with the carpet cleaners, a lot of these guys charge prices that people was charging damn a decade ago. And that's the part that, again, is frustrating. And especially for someone like me, because I know that they can do so much better. But I'm going to tell you why most of these contractors and home service providers, they don't do better. Because what I have realized, okay, and also reprogramming and changing my whole business model is, again, you have to reprogram yourself. You have to restructure yourself. You have to change your whole business structure. And that takes time and it can be a challenge. But I will say for me, it was well worth it. This is why in most industries, we will always have the bottom feeders. You will always have the people with the low price points. It's because that's easy. It's easy to charge a cheap price. It's easy to just strictly run your business off low price points, right? It's not a good thing unless you are someone who's sitting at the top and you have a whole bunch of people working for you, and it really just becomes a numbers game. But that's really not standard in in these industries as much as it used to be, which I used to acknowledge. But when you build value in your business, when you really take the time to structure your business a certain way, when you understand, how to make profit, um, you knowing that every person that calls your phone is not your client, right? Like there's guys, and I used to be this way. Everybody that used to call my phone, I used to try to sell them. Well, what can I do to get your business? And again, it always came down to price point. If you're the cheapest, you can get the job, and it was really just a race to the bottom. And that's what a lot of these guys don't understand is that when all you can resort on is a price, that is like one of the worst positions to be in as a service provider, not a product. Okay, not someone who's selling cups and computers and hats and glasses and shirts and things like that. But when it comes to a service, and that's why I think a lot of people who are in business don't understand that. They run their business, they run a service based business like they're selling a product. And like I say, guys, it's the guys that who really care, the ones that really want to build value in their business, make profit, make good money, make a good living. um that's the part that you really have to take the time to do. And I think, like with most, again, what I see, most are not willing to do that. And that's why if you are an instructor or a coach or a teacher, that's why it's really just best to charge for it. Because I realize this: when you start charging for it, the ones that are willing to pay, they are going to appreciate it more, and they're going to take it more serious. And I heard this one of my favorite books. I got a bunch of books, but you guys know, yeah, Think and Grow Rich, chapter 5, specialized knowledge. It talks about that. You know, when people pay for certain things, this is why I'm a big believer in paying for knowledge. You know, I'm actually taking a course right now. But when you pay for knowledge, guys, you take it more serious. You value it more. Um, so it can really be frustrating. You know, when I saw that comment, and like I said, this is in the carpet cleaning groups, this is in the pressure washing groups, this is in the wood floor groups, it's in most groups when it comes to a home-based service, is that, you know, the ones that who are willing to build value, the ones who are willing to really work for profit and not just work for money, not just work for anybody just because they found our services, and especially on a cheap price point. It's well worth it. It's well worth to continue to build that. Um, but for the ones that, again, operate strictly off price point, those are the ones that they're always going to be. They're always, if they don't run out of business, they're always going to be in the rat race. It's just, again, it's just a spiral um, to the bottom. You know, it's just, and you're always going to be with those bottom feeders, always fighting for what I call scraps. Always trying to outbid each other, always in price wars. Well, how much did he say he can do it for? $2.50. Okay, I can do it for $2. Then another guy come, well, I can do it for $1.75. And it's just a never-ending cycle, man. And it's really sad. It's really sad with technology, with the internet, with social media, that so many just don't see it. And that's the sad part, guys, is that majority of people in these industries, in these groups, they're not. Because again, you have to realize it's easy. It's easy to structure your business just strictly off price. Anybody can do that. I used to be that way. And again, no one can reinvent the wheel. Like I said, unless you have a bunch of people working for you and you are sitting at the top, capitalizing off a numbers game, you're not going to win. You might work, you will work, because there'll always be people that's willing to pay less, and there's always be people willing to work for less. And that's the sad part, man. These guys go out here and they beat up their bodies, they beat up their equipment. You know what? Today we went and did a job. Well, we didn't. I was out doing sales, and my guy scolded me, but I went to go, help him out for a few minutes. And don't you know, the client told me, he said, "Man, out of all the contractors I've ever had at my house, you guys have the best looking vans in my driveway." That was a compliment. Because why? Why can I do that? Why do my vans look so good? Why do my business look so good? Because I've structured my business a certain way. I've revamped myself. I think about my business and myself a certain way, and I make profit. Okay, but when you're not making profit, guys, I mean, I see it every day. I see these guys like, man, I'm like, do you see yourself? Like, do you see your image? And unfortunately, they don't care, because again, they're just workers. There was a guy that made a comment to me the other day, on Dust Life, and he was like, "You don't even know how to run a big machine." You know, he was talking about a drum sander, and I'm like, that was your only comeback? I don't know how to run a drum sander. And what they told me, and I told him that, I said, see, that's the difference. That's a worker's mindset. I have a business mindset. I can care less about running a big machine, because there's a lot of people that can run a big machine. But there's not a lot of people, guys, unfortunately, that can't run a profitable structured business. And we just have to accept that. So again, you're always going to have the ones at the bottom. You're always going to have the ones at the top. And you just got to be willing to choose which side you want to be on. All right, guys. See you in the next one.